Hello there. Yep, Zakynthos here. Uh, yes, I've decided to say my piece, do a podcast about the Australian federal government in this country. In New South Wales, the Premier, Gladys resigned. Why? Because ICAC, the Independent Commission Against Corruption, told her she should stand aside. Because of the boyfriend, Daryl Maguire, this and that, and his dealings, and they found her to give him $5.5 million for his clay shooting country club thing in Wagga Wagga and something else in Wagga Wagga as well. Through her dealings, this and that and whatever. What I'm angry about. And she said herself, oh, this is not a good time where ICAC has found this and that. This is the worst time for me. I've decided to resign. They told her to stand aside. They didn't tell her to resign. She's resigned because she knows what the future fallout is. And ICAC have said they're going to look into the dealings between 2012 and 2018. It's funny because one person says one thing and another group of people say something else. So I watched the drum on the ABC 2 nights ago. And if I had $1 for every New South Wales former female Liberal minister, this is in New South Wales, Liberal, not Labor, Liberal, I've counted maybe 5 of them. They all have nothing but fantastic things to say about Gladys. And so there was one woman that came on, won't say who she was, to the Monday night drum show on the drum with the Julia Baird. And she says Gladys has integrity. And then you've got Scotty Morrison as well, integrity. That's all you hear. She's got integrity, she's got this and that, and she's been fantastic for the state. None of these ex-Liberal people will admit. And Norman Swan was a doctor, part of the ABC, he does stuff, reports, whatever. He said, had they locked down earlier, it wouldn't have spread so much. And then they'll say to me, hey, Zakynthos, guess what? Victoria is spreading. We're not talking about Victoria. They've criticised Dan Andrews as well, calling him Dictator Dan. There are people on 5AA that were calling him Dictator Dan. They don't call Dictator Gladys, Dictator Dan, they were saying. But he's not under investigation. He hasn't done anything corrupt. For her, and this is the issue, and I'm sick of it. I've had enough, man, of all these women, these former Liberal women, when they come on the drum, in the last 6 months, fantastic, Gladys is superb. But this is before the ICAC thing. How can you, this woman that came on the drum Monday night, she's in her 40s or 50s, she's a former New South Wales Nationals member. And she said, oh, she have worked with her, she's fantastic, she has integrity. But hang on, ICAC has found her with these problems. Oh, no, she's still good. Julia Baird asked her, ICAC has found these things, don't you think, whatever? Oh, no. And it reminds me, it's like saying, in the Star Trek movie in 2009 with Chris Pine, and the bad guy, Captain Nero, who was played by, oh, I can't remember his name. And it's basically like, oh, I destroyed this planet, Romulus, because Vulcan, they destroyed me. I destroyed a planet, I did this, I did that. I'm bad, but you know what? He abused me. Well, hang on, man. Like, it doesn't make sense. The other thing so what I hear on the next drum, on the Tuesday night show, Scotty Morrison. Oh, ICAC was very unfair to Gladys. The way we see it in the government, in the federal government, it's innocent until proven guilty. ICAC, because they did their job and they found something, no, they're bad news. And this is what gets me up my ass. Scotty Morrison is they're asking the government, will the government institute a process like ICAC? In New South Wales, they have the ICAC, Independent Commission Against Corruption. Independent, the findings are private, they have their thing, then they make it public. The federal government has said, we're not going to go down that path. We don't like the way ICAC works. You know why the federal government don't like the way ICAC works? Because it works properly. It works with integrity. They find the guilty. Another guy they had on the Tuesday night's drum. Watch the drum. I urge people, if you see this video and you don't believe me, watch the drum on iView. It's on the internet. Watch Monday night's episode and Tuesday night's episode. Monday nights is Julia Baird. Tuesday nights is Ellen Fanning. Watch these two episodes and it'll make your blood boil. Scotty Morrison comes out, oh, we're not going to do it like this and blah, blah. Man, how can you criticize ICAC? How can the Prime Minister criticize ICAC, man? The federal government are a law unto themselves. They're not going to implement anything like ICAC. And it was stated on the drum that the federal government was going to implement something like that 3 years ago. 3 years ago. But when we do election promises, we say one thing, but we mean something else. And so the thing I was mentioning about in the Star Trek movie, there was a bad guy in Star Trek, I'll say it again. His name was Captain Nero. And it's like he destroys a whole planet, Vulcan. Oh, you know what? But he murdered one of my people. Oh, so we'll just blow up a whole planet, and that's an excuse. Oh, he's still a nice guy. But I destroyed a whole planet. I killed people, everything. And here it's just, how can you say she has integrity, a person of integrity, man? I don't know. I don't know what to say. And then the gentleman that they had last night, because Ellen Fanning was grilling him a bit, and he goes, oh, no, ICAC they don't know how to do their job properly. They made 30 ministers resign. They destroyed 30 ministers' career. Ellen Fanning said, yeah, but the ICAC didn't force them to resign. Oh, yeah, but once they were investigated, that was it. So Ellen Fanning said to this guy, he was a former national thing on New South Wales, if I get arrested because I stole something, I'm brought to court, I'm questioned, I'm going to have a bad name for myself. Guilty or not guilty, that's how it is. And over the course of years, if I'm innocent, then everything blows away, sort of. And so that, let's be honest, sort of. But he goes, oh no, they destroyed. What? Hang on, where there's smoke, there's fire. That's what the woman on the drum is saying. Oh, what the bottom line is, man, oh, Gladys is beautiful. All these former liberal women, she's beautiful, she's fantastic. She didn't mean it, she's done great for the state. What great has she done? The virus has spread big time. And because it's spread big time in New South Wales, it has spread to the ACT and has spread to Victoria. So, I don't know, the other thing about the vaccines, I'll go down that path of the vaccine. In my opinion, now there's going to be 3 vaccines: the Moderna, the Pfizer, and the AstraZeneca. People don't want to take the AstraZeneca. I know why, and everyone knows why. Because of the blood clotting. The European Union or whatever, to be fair to the government are not to blame. The government are to blame for putting all their eggs in one basket, for only producing AstraZeneca. When Pfizer came to them in the middle of last year, Pfizer said to them, hey, Australia, we've got vaccines here, we can see the future and you're going to need us. And the Minister for Health, Greg Hunt, goes, no, we'll be all right. And mate, the heads of Pfizer, they were offended because they knew, You Australians must be insane, because we can see what's going to happen in a year and a half. The government should have seen the AstraZeneca was a complete fail. There are so many surplus AstraZeneca vaccinations, it's not funny. No one wants it because of the blood clotting. You only have to look at Greece. I see 4 or 5 women in their 40s. I think it affects more women than men. I don't care what anybody says. Especially in the 40s, in that range, they died. Do the families get compensated? Do the families, are they told, we're so sorry? The European Union should never have approved the AstraZeneca. End of story. Once they saw, and this was, I watched Q&A last October, and there was this woman in South Africa. They banned AstraZeneca. They saw what was happening in South Africa. In Denmark, they banned it. And on the Q&A, this woman from Monash University, some Indian woman, she said, AstraZeneca has 68% efficacy. The Pfizer has 96% efficacy. The Indian woman said, I know which vaccine I'm choosing. But the other women that was there, one was Sharon Lewin, and the other one was Nick Coates. And they weren't happy when they heard the criticism of the AstraZeneca. This was October last year. Oh no, you mustn't say that, you mustn't say that. She said, I'm not going to let my children take AstraZeneca. Guess what, liberal heads? Again, you're all liberal doctors. The AstraZeneca, waste of money and should never have been approved. There is not one person I know that is taking AstraZeneca. I was tempted because the deadline is approaching. I'm getting vaccinated with the Pfizer November 4th, I think, down the road. I called another clinic. They go, they've only got AstraZeneca. So, look, the pharmacies are now bringing on Moderna, which is a good thing. There's some people not comfortable with Moderna. Probably some people not comfortable going to pharmacy. But for me, it raises the question. There was a tennis match, and the head doctors, technicians, epidemiologists that developed the AstraZeneca were in the tennis. They were at the game that day, the final. I'm not sure if it was Wimbledon, whatever, this year, last year, and they congratulated them on developing the AstraZeneca. Look, AstraZeneca has helped some people, but a lot of people are confused. They go, well, do we take AstraZeneca? Is it safe? Do we take Pfizer? And some people don't even know what Moderna is. And I bet you there's 30% of the population in Australia said, I'm not taking Moderna, I don't know, I've got to look it up, the reason, I've got to go ask the doctor. It's simple. I'll tell you it's simple. The Moderna is safe. The Pfizer is safe. The AstraZeneca above 50, 60 is safe. Below 50, this is where it gets interesting. And the government has fucked this up because 3 months ago they said above 40s, you could do it above 50. They kept changing it above 50 years old, above 60 years old, you can take it. The Queensland Chief Medical Officer 5 months ago said, I don't want people under 18 taking the AstraZeneca because they could die from the AstraZeneca vaccination and not die from COVID. They might not even get COVID. For me, it's simple. If you're desperate for a vaccine, get the AstraZeneca, but it's like in A Few Good Men. Like the bad guy said, roll the dice and take your chance. And what is it, 3 out of 100,000 the probability? Or something like that. They've always said it. If there's 100,000 people in a stadium at the MCG, 3 people get a blood clot. Now, I know what all the Aussies are thinking, I ain't taking that risk. That's simple. It's that simple. You can take the AstraZeneca, but you should see your GP. For Pfizer and Moderna, you don't need to ask the GP. Now, if you're in your 80s and 90s, that's different. But all of us middle-aged people, whatever, all of us are healthy, whatever, there's no risk in them. And the same Moderna, if anybody's telling you not to take Moderna, for the love of God, please, get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Take Moderna, take Pfizer. But the AstraZeneca is simple, and I was going to take the risk. What? The chance of me getting a blood clot, 3 out of 100,000. To be honest, I'd rather take that risk than to walk past someone, even if I've got a mask on, and get COVID. Because if you get COVID, it's one thing to get a blood clot. To be fair to AstraZeneca, if you get a blood clot, that's one thing. You get AstraZeneca, and I know, I've seen it with my own eyes from my dad, you can't breathe in here. The fluid builds up in the lungs, and you've got no idea what it does. It slows you down big time. So there you have it. And the Therapeutic Goods Administration in this country should never have approved AstraZeneca. There were panic stations in May and June. When they heard about the blood clots, they were running here, there, left, right, centre, doing press conferences. Above 50, above 60, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. It confused the fuck out of people. Sorry for the language, it confused people big time. And yeah, I don't know. Oh, the bin's been. I've just seen food. Okay, yeah, no worries. That's good. And yeah, okay, so let's dig deeper into the AstraZeneca. UK used it, the US used it. It's probably saved a lot of people's lives, but it's that small risk. It's that small risk. But Q&A last October, the episode is there, must be somewhere. It's on the internet for sure, on YouTube if you look up Q&A. They said that the efficacy of AstraZeneca compared to Pfizer was a no-brainer. It was 68% efficiency, or save your life. AstraZeneca to 92 or 96% for Pfizer. So it's a no-brainer what people were picking. And the government was saying, take both, just get vaccinated. Again, yeah, I'm willing to, but I was willing to take AstraZeneca, but people advised me, my clan, you shouldn't listen, you might get a blood clot. Yeah, again, it's like in A Few Good Men, Jack Nicholson. Roll the dice and take your chances. Because if you roll the wrong number, bang. The Pfizer, no risk, Moderna, no risk. So, yeah, I mean, the other thing I don't like is where the government deny what Pfizer has said. Pfizer quote said they came to Australia, they wanted to visit the heads of state here, and they said to the government in July 2020, we think you should take up these Pfizer vaccinations from us. And let's do the business deal. It's going to help us, it's going to help you, it's going to help Australia immensely. Australia didn't want it. So we've got AstraZeneca. We're going to take the cheap option. I mean, really, yeah. And so they were mass producing in Melbourne at CSL, can't remember where, AstraZeneca. But when they saw, once the blood clots in, the Labor government said it, Albanese said it, at the end of last year, you guys have put all your eggs, the government's put all their eggs in one basket, and that basket's the AstraZeneca basket. There was a thing called Johnson & Johnson, and they had a little bit of problems as well, I think. Greece have got 3 or 4 different vaccination options. The US had different options. Other countries had 3 or 4. We only stuck with the one. When it comes to fossil fuel, the government spent $50 billion. The budget, the federal budget was in May allocated, they had $560 billion to spend. 50 billion of that was on fossil fuel, coal and whatnot. When it comes to the vaccine, we only want AstraZeneca, we're not going to spend not even $10 billion. Who knows? Not going to spend it. No. We're happy with AstraZeneca. Then the panic started. The panic set in this year. Oh, they started getting from here, we got from Poland, whatever. And then it's ridiculous. And my final thought for the day, Dominic Perrottet was sworn in as the new New South Wales Premier. Liberal, 39 years old. Guess what his criticism is? He's Catholic. Yep, he's Catholic. He's hardcore Catholic. That's a Christian, whatever. Yeah. And so what that means, There are some people probably in New South Wales, and they may not vote for him. I'm a Labor person, but that's beside the point. He's Liberal. The state premier, the party that governs New South Wales is Liberal. Catholic means he doesn't like gays. He actually said, quote, "I'm against gay marriages." See, we mustn't criticise. Mate, I'd rather have a Liberal minister not support gays or gay marriages rather than a Labor supporting it. A man belongs with a woman. That's it, end of story. And if you fuckers won't vote for your own, who's a Liberal, just because you call him hardcore Catholic and extremist. Why is he extremist? That's right. He's against pro-choice. He's against the abortion thing. He voted against it in New South Wales. Again, he's a double bad boy. Doesn't like, he's Catholic. Hang on. Don't you guys, I'm of the Greek Orthodox Church. But again, Catholic is another religion, bigger than the Orthodox religion, I think. Hang on. You can't have your cake and eat it too. And I've heard one of Dominic Perrottet's interviews maybe 8 months ago when he was New South Wales Treasurer. And he sounds like a very intelligent person. I'm not being sarcastic. He was having, and Scotty, I don't think is very happy with this appointment. See, again, they all loved Gladys because Gladys and Scotty were on the same page. It looks like this guy, no. So the younger, and I've got the feeling he'll lose votes already. They said that his election is in 18 months' time, whatever. Please, for the love of God, you stupid young people, please vote for him. Doesn't matter if he's Labor or Liberal. Mate, if he's against gay marriages and he's for thin, he's spot on. What? Hang on, you get pregnant and then just have an abortion. Oh, hey, it's sex. Have a baby, just get rid of the baby. Hang on, it's not like that. There are consequences to your actions. That's why it's called pro-life. See, he doesn't like gays. And he'll lose votes because he doesn't like gays. We mustn't criticize people that are against gays. See, for me, a man belongs with a woman. A man gets married to a woman. And this thing, how do you raise a kid? What? A man and a man raise a kid together, or a woman and a woman. What drives me up the wall is where two women raise a son. Shouldn't the son have a father figure? Oh, that's right. The father was bad. So we'll have two women instead of a man and a woman. So Dominic Perrottet, mate, you've got my vote, and I'm a Labor guy. And when I heard that they call you already hardcore extreme right-wing, mate, you're Catholic, you're married with 5 kids, you've set an example in the community. And if there are others like these gay fuckers that don't like it, they can go jump in the lake. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.